Hey boss, have you ever gotten ticked off because you have been lied to or you have been fed false narratives? Well, I am actually sharing an article that I came across yesterday, and I just thought it was so important to share with you as a business owner because this impacts you and your employees. And so today's video is the real impact of the vaccine mandate on businesses. And I came across this article written by Joy Pullman in the Federalist, and it has now made national news. So I wanted to share this with you so you can be informed and make really great decisions for both your business and your employees. Hey, I'm Dr. Heather Williamson with the Transformation Group, and welcome back to the channel. All right, so I wanted to share this video, and if you want to get more tips like this on how you can actually make better informed decisions, anything related to tips and strategies, then you will want to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any of my weekly information for you to be a better boss and to help you lead your teams more effectively. So hopefully you'll subscribe to this channel, and let's get started. All right, so I came across this article written by Joy Pullman, and she was writing, and it's information that I was just, honestly, I was dumbfounded. And then the more I read it, it just really ticked me off. And I'm thinking, if I'm getting ticked off because this impacts, the success of companies, it impacts the happiness of employees, it impacts the being able to actually run and be productive within an organization, and the lack of transparency, the lack of truth, the spin that is happening in today's world is just unbelievable. And so I want to share this truth with you to help you make better informed decisions, and then you can use that information whatever way you want. All right, so I'm going to share this article that Joy wrote, and the article actually is entitled "Joe Biden's Vaccine Mandate Doesn't Exist, It's Just a Press Release," and that's what caught my eye. So yes, we've heard all about Joe Biden's alleged vaccine mandate for private companies. Those that have 100 or more employees are required to have all their employees vaccinated unless they have extenuating circumstances such as religious exemptions or medical exemptions. Nothing about natural immunity is even taken into consideration. So Joy writes that it was, obviously all over the news, even before it was announced September 9th. And his announcement had jeopardized the employment of millions of Americans and increased worker shortages in critical domains such as healthcare. And we're seeing that today with the nurses that are being fired, or they're quitting, or in the reduced bed that are happening as a result, which is impacting obviously those that are really sick for whatever illness that they have or procedure that needs to get done. But there's only one problem, Joy writes, and it's all a mirage. Biden's so-called vaccine mandate doesn't exist. I'm going to say that again. Biden's vaccine mandate doesn't exist, at least not yet. So far, all we have is his press conference and other such made-for-media, basically propaganda. No such rule, even claiming to be legally binding, has been issued yet. That's why nearly 24 Republican attorney generals who have publicly voiced their opposition to the clearly unconstitutional and illegal mandate haven't yet been filed suit against. Because there's nothing to file suit against. It's not been acted yet. So she also writes that the Office of the Indiana Attorney General confirmed for me there is no mandate to haul into court, and that may be part of the plan. According to several sources, so far it appears no such mandate has been sent to the White House's Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs yet for approval. the White House, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, which is OSHA, and the Department of Labor haven't released any official guidance for the alleged mandate, and there is no executive order. There's nothing but press statements. Feel free to research this for yourself. Despite what you may have been falsely led to believe by the media, press statements have zero legal authority. There is nothing there yet that gives employers any mandate. There's nothing. It's just a press release. No mandate. Stephanie McFarland, who's the spokesperson for the Indiana Occupational Safety and Health Administration, told her this October 6th. And, quote, "The president made an announcement of this asking OSHA to do it, but we've not yet seen anything come from it yet." She also said when the state agency gets any further information, she said they'll review it. Unquote. So to impose the public perception of a mandate, the Biden administration is following an unusual rulemaking process. It also employed earlier this year called an Emergency Temporary Standard, or ETS. The spring ETS rule took nearly 6 months to issue. Meanwhile, companies are telling reporters their vaccine mandates will have at the latest December deadlines. Which is actually only 4 months after Biden's non-existent mandate was proclaimed. So according to OSHA, an ETS, which is the Emergency Temporary Standard, takes up to 6 months to go into effect after the initial mandate is issued in the Federal Register, which again, for those 100 employee companies, the mandate hasn't even happened yet. So it's all smoke and mirrors. So using that ETS procedure instead of normal federal rulemaking processes both allows the Biden administration to push its demands faster and without any public input or requirement of responding to public input. So if you don't have any public input, then you're not going to be required to respond to it, which is normally required of even legally federal rulemaking mandates like this one would be, and that is part of why the ETS rules have been overwhelmingly overturned in the courts. So OSHA has used that legal authority only 10 times in 50 years, according to David Ricken Jr. and Robert Alt. And they wrote in the Wall Street Journal in September that the courts have decided to challenge 6 of those standards, which they eliminated 5 and actually only upheld 1 of them. And they also write that the states have plenary power to regulate health and safety. So the states have the rights. Congress has only those limited powers enumerated in the Constitution. That would not include the authority to impose a $155 fine on any individual who declines to be vaccinated, much less to prevent him from earning a living. I see some major lawsuits coming, at least with companies that are instituting this, since they can't actually sue the government because it hasn't been mandated yet. It hasn't even been sent to Congress, or not Congress, but the OSHA and the Department of Labor. So, also earlier this week, the Wall Street Journal published a letter from Bruce Atkinson making several excellent observations about the non-existent mandate, including the following. The mandate's non-existence shields the Biden administration from legal challenges that may ultimately restrict the Occupational Safety and Health Administration's authority, or OSHA's authority. Yet the mandate is still effective at compelling industries and companies into compliance. So even though the mandate doesn't exist, just because Biden said it, it's compelling companies to mandate it or for their compliance. And it leaves room for any eventual issuance to non-target, non-compliant entities. This implied cudgel is particularly effective on industries and companies that are dependent on federal spending or the goodwill of federal regulators. The non-existent mandate also allows so-called or so inclined state and local governments and companies to issue their own mandates, seemingly in lockstep with Washington. And so you wonder what's happening as a result of these companies following suit with the non-existent mandate of Joe Biden. Well, this is what's happening. We all saw it this past weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and even Monday with Southwest Airlines. They canceled over 2,000 flights. They did 800 on Saturday, over 1,000 on Sunday, and 300 yesterday, Columbus Day holiday. And this was actually according to the flight tracker FlightWare. So this is happening. No other airlines have had over 2,000 flight cancellations, just Southwest. And that is because they had just issued a vaccine mandate to all their employees. And so they are obviously finding that their employees and the pilots are not happy with it. And so they are either being forced to quit, or they are having a, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but they are doing a walkout. So also, because of the non-existent mandate companies are enforcing, United Airlines is set to terminate 593 employees. The third is that the Pilot Association filed Friday, October 8th, to block Southwest Airlines' mandated COVID jab policy. The fourth instance is that healthcare, huge job losses in healthcare, such up to the point of, as of the other day, this is according to the U.S. Bureau Labor Statistics, and that is that nursing and residential has seen a job loss of over 38,000, and hospitals have seen a loss of 8,000. That is crazy, and just think about how that's impacting healthcare. The fifth instance result of these mandates is healthcare workers have now filed lawsuit against hospitals for requiring the vaccine mandate. The sixth is that the governor of Texas, Governor Abbott, has now issued an executive order banning vaccine mandates by any entity in the state of Texas. Another one is that New York City's unvaccinated teachers are now being required to waive their right to sue for 1 year's worth of health benefits. That is blackmail. And then another instance that just happened is that Oregon senators are now calling for an investigation into alleged COVID-19 statistical manipulation. So I don't know about you, but all of this information, this reality that is happening, that if you get the truth and not the spin of what people or the government is trying to tell you, I don't know about you, but this just ticks me off, and it just really ticks me off. So if I am, I'm in your shoes. We're all business owners, or we are all in some kind of a leadership role where we're influencing our employees. And with that comes a responsibility. And with responsibility, it's up to us to find out what is truth and what is fiction. So hopefully you are taking this information and are going to use it to make some informed decisions or policies with your company, or maybe you've already enacted a vaccine mandate. Maybe this will change your mind, since actually it's non-existent. I know that a lot of companies and leaders actually did this because they really were trying to create this safe work environment, but it's actually seen a negative impact as a result of not allowing your employees to have a choice. And I think we all need choices in what decisions that we make for ourselves. So I will actually post the link to this article in the comment section below so you can check it out. Feel free to check any other information out there. Like I said, this was on national news yesterday, and I am will continue to post information that is really going to help you as a business owner to help build that trust, because in articles like this and non-existent mandates that are led to believe that they are real really create lack of trust in the organization. And your people are your number one asset that you've got, because without employees, you're not going to really have a business. So hopefully you found this information useful. If you like this video, then please like the button below. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my weekly leadership tips and strategies. And last but not least, go out and be that boss that your employees want to work for. So until next time, have an amazing day. Bye.